This comes to us from the Archcast, who friend of the channel. I've streamed with him on Side Scrollers before. Awesome guy. Love his channel. Check him out. Really good dude. And apparently he was chosen by the claw of PayPal. He said, I was just randomly deplatformed from PayPal. No reason given other than unusual activities. Nonsense, of course. And I was redirected to a page telling me about the rules of card companies. Please make some noise about this if you can and spread the word, which I did alongside many other people. This already has over 1,000 likes. And this is the redirect post. We no longer offer PayPal services for this account. Guys, this is very scary. This is very scary. Just to think you could have your money tied up in PayPal, in Venmo, in a debit card, in a bank. Any one of them could just be like, we've decided that we don't want to work with you anymore. And your finances are just tied up with us at the moment. Sorry. And you have no recourse, no power, no action you can take to do anything about it. Yikes. We aim to provide our customers with the most seamless and user-friendly services possible. Unfortunately, sometimes we are unable to provide services to an account for a variety of reasons, including, here we go, ready? Local laws, our policies, or the policies of our partners. Well, this gets pretty concerning when you start reading that and think what happened with Visa and MasterCard and Steam and Itch. And they say, oh, our partners, and we can't work with selling these games and approving these purchases if they're selling these games. It is very scary when they start just using these terms and say we can do what we want because it's our business. Why is this happening? After a review, we discovered unusual activity on this account that we cannot support. Well, that's pretty fucking vague. What is the unusual activity that you cannot support? It doesn't say unusual activity that strikes us as malicious or an aberration that potentially was hacked or anything. No, it says unusual activity on this account that we cannot support. What can you do with your account? Your account has been permanently deactivated. What? You can still view your transaction history, download statements, or request copies of your data. What about the money? Where's the money, Lebowski? What? You can't just take someone's money. You can't just freeze an account. What the hell? What about the money left in the account? Before you can transfer any remaining funds from your account, we must reserve them for up to 120 days to cover any financial obligations. We will review your account and email you when the funds are available. Holy crap. So you have zero rights when you with your own fucking money, by the way. This is your money. They froze your account and say, yeah, we get it's your money, but we're not giving you your money. We're holding it hostage for 4 months, and we'll let you know if we're going to give it back to you or not. Yikes. One, how is that legal? What? We will keep your personal information with us for as long as you have a PayPal account. Well, I mean, it's permanently deactivated, so never. After that, we will retain your information in accordance with applicable laws for up to 10 years. We will delete everything at the end of this period. If we are no longer required or permitted by law to retain your personal information during this period, we will delete everything immediately. Wow. Learn more about our data policy. Holy shit. Supported activities by PayPal. Why does PayPal support certain activities and not others? PayPal partners with card networks and various banks to provide a secure payment platform to our customers, which is as long as you don't break any rules with our buddies, we're going to work with you. But if we don't like you anymore, you're out. Our partners have specific rules and restrictions for certain activities, transactions, and business models that are intended to maintain the security of these networks. They're acting like this guy's like some sort of kingpin drug dealer that they discovered a massive drug deal behind and they have to freeze all his assets. Like, bro, this guy's a YouTuber talking about the nefarious acts behind the scenes, including PayPal, ironically. Under these card network rules, PayPal complies with these requirements as well as applicable laws, local laws, and our own policies to maintain a safe environment and community for our users. Oh, there it is. It's for your safety, guys. That's why. Archcast should just walk away. It's for everyone's safety. He should know that. It's for his safety. What more could you do? Our platform cannot support activities that are prohibited by these requirements. In other cases, we can only support certain activities with prior approval. How does PayPal interact with card networks and banking partners? It goes into where can I find out more information, all this blah, 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 great stuff. I mean, this is absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. So I wrote back, whoa, buddy, what the fuck? And he said, it's certainly one of those blood freezing in your veins style news to get. I know you've gotten more than your fair share of those. And I said, oh yeah, but this is beyond egregious. Wishing you the best in getting your money back out of all this. Insane. Absolutely insane. And the entire community is already coming together on this. Stutter and Craig from Side Scrollers. Wow, did you at least get the money out first? And he said, PayPal is helping themselves to about 15 grand at this moment. Damn. It was such a nice and easy way to pay artists, but no longer, I guess. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's insane. Grums says, wow, that's nuts. Said, I hope it's a mistake and not a sign of another wave of content creator deplatformings. I mean, I would like to lean towards that this is a mistake, because the dumbest possible thing a company could do would be to deplatform a YouTuber who is a massive voice in the community while talking about PayPal, MasterCard, and Visa and how they're deplatforming things. It's not a great look. In fact, this is a terrible look. And I can't believe that this even happened. They need to have better safety protocols in place to make sure that they, like, you can't just deactivate an account out of the blue. Like, this has to be something where someone looked at it, verified it, personally inspected it, and was like, yep, we're going to deactivate this account, instead of having a bot do that. That's insane, especially that kind of money. V said, the fact they won't even tell you why or give you a way to appeal is chilling. I'm so glad he said that, by the way, because that's something I meant to bring up. No way to appeal it. It just, your account's closed. We detected activity and it's just closed. You don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have any recourse. Closed. Crazy, crazy. Side scrollers, that's disgusting. Mama Akko says, Arch, what pony pics have you been purchasing? Just kidding, just kidding. I pray you get it back. Trump needs to create equal opportunity prohibiting this kind of behavior. They tagged the White House and the president. Payment processors seem to be willing to take the law into their own hands, removing accounts from people with no explanation. We need a solution so that people do not have their livelihoods and financial situations jeopardized, which I want to just piggyback off that real quick and say, what if Arch had his bills going through PayPal? What if he was paying his rent or mortgage through PayPal? What if he used that as his bank account and they just froze it for 4 months? What if he had all of his money in there? I mean, obviously diversify your money in different places, but what if that's where his main bank account was and it was just frozen? Like, insane that just happened. All this stuff I was checking into. Why is PayPal deactivating my account? And all this stuff that we talked about. This is just another way to say it. And it kind of brings me to a point that I was going to talk about already, and it kind of rolls right into that. So we're just going to cover this as a part of this with what Savvy was saying earlier today. She said, if the world was as violent as Encos and Collective Shout tried to sell, they wouldn't be allowed to bully companies, but instead would have been silenced before even getting started. We aren't fighting a battle of logic because they use none. We knew this from the get-go. Ask questions, make them explain their own actions. Demand to know how silencing charity efforts and harassing bakeries stops little girls from being raped by illegals. Businesses are folding out of fear of losing money, pipeline, due to the duopoly of Visa and MasterCard. Without them, sadly, they lose access to global markets. Japan has been unfairly targeted. Keep the calls up, keep the emails flowing, use cash when you can, vote when you can. And again, not directly speaking to MasterCard, but it does go to the overarching situation of Archcast of the problem with banking and their ability to just freeze accounts out of the blue. And even if it's an accident or an error or something on PayPal's end, that can't happen. That can't happen. If this ultimately gets resolved tomorrow and it's like, oh, it was a mistake, it was no big deal, whoops, they triggered the wrong account or whatever, and it's all fixed, that's still beyond effed. They should not be able to do that. That's the problem that we're getting at right now, where it does not invalidate this video. This is very important to say this type of action cannot be taken by these companies. They should have a responsibility to keep the account up with your own money in it. And if they are going to close your account, have the obligation to immediately allow you to transfer every penny out of it. 4 months, my ass. That's completely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Disgusting even. I am like at a loss. I'm at a loss for words with the whole situation. And shout out to Nev G, who just sent me this. This comes to us from Politico. Trump says JP Morgan, Bank of America, rejected his deposits. The Trump administration is expected to take additional efforts to crack down on perceived bias against conservatives in the financial system. And this just happened as well. So Trump is taking action against the banking industry too right now. And this situation is far bigger than I think a lot of people are giving it credit for right now. It's almost like, ironically, once again, video games were the canary in the coal mine to let everyone know that there was a massive issue with the banking industry in general, starting with Visa and MasterCard, but definitely not ending there. And now look at the can of worms that's been opened up ever since that got reported. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyways, I will leave that one there, but I hope that Archcast is able to get his money back because yikes, this entire situation is gross. Absolutely disgusting. Legal says, never expected a futuristic war would be a bunch of accountants throwing paperweights at each other. Right? Right. Isn't that what it feels like?